The creative person has a special gift. His private vision of the world. Through words, ideas, images, he touches our view of the 20th century.
Here we are. Robbie. Right away out.
Rena!
Remember when you want.
They stand in long lines. Children around the country stand for hours, regardless of cold rain, patient beyond the patience of childhood, to see him. They do it because they love him, because he is Fred Rogers, minister, educator, television producer, and above all, Mr. Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers, I like you as you are.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make a...
Childhood has many needs. Not the least of them is the need to talk and to be talked to. The need for meaningful dialogue. The need to find in such dialogue comfort, reinforcement, help in gaining control of the seemingly uncontrollable.
What do you think it is? A lion, great. Lions and crocodiles all together, and now kitty cats.
It is this need, the need to communicate with children about childhood, which is Fred Rogers' main concern. Most of his work involves television. Still, his dialogue with childhood is not confined to the television studio. It extends into the nursery schools of the United Presbyterian Church, of which he is a minister, and the University of Pittsburgh Child Study Center, to which he is a consultant. There, the dialogue takes place person to person, or through the medium of puppets.
Yeah, wonderful. You make it tough. And I have a soda, and I lost the other one.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, so. You know, Wendy? You know, Miss Daniel today? Yeah, sometimes people say, that's amazing people, sad sometimes, amazing people, glad sometimes. Glad one day, yeah. And this
don't even know.
Television is the preferred medium. It is gently paced, non-violent, non-sweet, adult in language, child in substance. It is not simple, however. A first glance is deceiving. A single unit of sight and sound may combine a child's preoccupation with water play, his fascination with mechanical toys, his delight in song, and his concern about his behavior in relationship to the adult world.
Hey, I didn't know you had anything like that. With you
Come on
today.
over to the airport and see plane.
I never even knew you had anything like that.
This is a great big pond of water. And I think maybe I'll just make a few little roads.
And it's very long too, Mr.
You ever
Roy.
do that in your tub? How wet do you get in your tub? Sometimes people get wet
And
their parents get
upset.
But the very same people who are wet sometimes are the very same people who are dry sometimes.
It's
funny,
but
But it's true. It's the same, isn't it, for me? And sometimes people make noise and they break each other's toys. This makes noise, doesn't it? But the very same people who are noisy sometimes are the very same people who are quiet sometimes.
it's funny, but it's true.
It's the same, isn't it, for me? And sometimes people are good.
And they do just what they should. But the very same people who are good
sometimes are the very same people who are bad sometimes.
It's funny, but it's true.
It's the same, isn't it, for me? Isn't it the same for you?
When you write music and have a feeling for children, even before you've studied child development, there's something of the creative artist that comes through anyway. You know, like I Like You As You Are, for instance. This has turned out, and I collaborated on that song, and it's turned out to be one of the most important ones, I think, that we've written. You know, I like you as you are, exactly and precisely. I think you turned out nicely, and I like you as you are. And children need to hear that. I don't think that anybody can grow unless he really is accepted exactly as he is. Because if somebody's always saying to a child, you're going to grow up and you're going to be fine. So much of that in this country anyway. You know, that a child is appreciated for what he will be, not for what he is. He will be a great consumer someday. And so the quicker we can get them to grow up, and the quicker we can get them out of the nest so that they will go out and buy, you know, set up their own home at 12 maybe, then the better.
To accept the child as child is to know his main concerns, is to deal with these concerns in a meaningful and constructive manner, is to put them into singable song, playable play, and vital dialogue. Many things are worked into the Rogers television programs. Things to be built and to be destroyed. Impulses to be freed and to be controlled. Feelings to be explored. Frustrations to be resolved.
I'd go to it. Jamie has it. She'll say she'll do her best. Okay? Yeah, she'll say, meow, do meow best.
The program's central figures are Mr. Rogers and the characters who populate the land of make-believe.
Hand it to her.
Trusted friends with whom the child can undertake such formidable tasks as overcoming the fear of
We try
snakes.
that. And what kind of a snake is that one, Mr. Allen?
It's a copperhead, King Friday.
Well, a copperhead is poisonous, is it not?
Oh, real ones are, but this is just a rubber one.
Oh, made of rubber. Let me see it then, thank you. Oh, yes, he does have a copper color on his head, doesn't he?
That's why they call it a copperhead, King Friday.
Do you have any that aren't made of rubber today?
Oh, I'd like to show you one, King Friday.
Yes, thank you. You take him, yes? Oh. He's real, isn't he?
Oh, this one is very real, King Friday. This is what they call a ball python.
A ball python?
Notice how he rolls up in a ball.
Oh, I see. Yes. Hello, ball. Oh,
He's from Africa.
I see. How old is he?
Oh, this one's about 4 or 5 years old. He's an adult. He's about as big as they get.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm glad he's not going to get much bigger. Mm-hmm. There are those, you know, who are afraid of snakes. Yes. One of them stands on top of a broom most of the time. Yes. See. Oh, what is this one? Oh, yes.
This is an indigo, King Friday. This is what the show people like to use in a circus.
I see. Hello, Indigo. How old is he?
Oh, this one probably about 6 years old.
6 years old. Time for you to go to school, Mr. Indigo Snake. Yes. I always take someone with me who knows snakes very well.
Oh, that's a very good thing to do. That's why you don't get hurt, and neither does anybody else.
Exactly. I suggest you do that if you ever go for a long walk in the forest. Now, I'll take my snake. Thank you. Thank you very much, my rubber one. Mm-hmm. Come along and we'll go to the S room where we will have a snack and talk about more snakes. Very well. I think the best thing is if you hand it to him this way, then that's it. Then we won't see that underneath part, right? Thank you very much. Out we go. Oh, that was a mess.
How you doing, Matt? About 3
Bill?
minutes to take, people. 3 minutes.
Bill,
Yes.
at the beginning, could you say that it's a copperhead? And then I'll ask something about how old it is or something. And then we can get into the rubber business. Okay. We should save the rubber business, you see, for a little bit of a punch. Someday you'll be a grown-up too, and have some children grow up too. Then you can love them in and out, and tell them stories all about the times when you were their size, the times when you found great surprise in growing up. And they will sing, it's fun, that's all. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing in and out. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing all about. So's this, you see? You can feel yourself growing when you're being refused something, if you can stand the frustration. In fact, every frustration that you go through, you've been able to grow a bit. That's what Helen Ross always says, that when you learn how to wait, that this helps as far as, oh, I'm all mixed up with that. But Helen Ross always says that. And then you put a knot at the end, and you're all set. And that song's not just for children. No, sir, that's for parents, too. You know, someday you'll be a grown-up, too, and have some children grow up, too. then you can love them in and out and tell them stories all about the times when you were their size. That's a little hint to you-know-who. Thank you very much. I was a bachelor for, about a year and a half. Well, that doesn't mean I got married when I was a year and a half old, but I mean, when I was living alone in New York for about a year and a half. And, oh, dear, I practically got frostbite from cooking every night. I would just open up the stuff. There, that's egg salad. Oh, my, it looks awful. Well, but it really is good, just the eggs with the mayonnaise. Many children like egg salad, you know that? In our house, it's about second to you-know-what. Peanut butter. Peanut butter, sure. I think it's important to have food for children because this is one of the main things in their lives, in all of our lives.
I do.
The very first way that a child has of knowing what the world is like is through his mouth. Put some of these things into soak. Well, it's the homely things, that we do. What would a kid see more of during a day than either cooking or cleaning up in the kitchen? No sense of being fancy about things that have nothing to do with their daily experience.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, he's about to come. Do they know how to greet me? Yes, King Freddy, just turn around and you'll see.
How do you do, King Friday? How do you do, King Friday?
Well, it's with great pleasure that I see you, ladies and gentlemen, this morning. Do you have anything to tell me?
Yes.
What is it, my dear?
You know what?
What?
I'm going to move to a new house pretty soon.
A new house? How wonderful. Are you going to take your toys with you?
Yes.
And your bed?
Yes.
You're going to take all of your things and put them in a new house?
Yes.
Are you going to take your mommy and daddy and brother and sister?
Yes.
Wonderful. That's a lovely idea. You're a fine young man. May I shake your hand?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Lovely.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Hi. Oh, I'm so pleased to see you back today.
Before I fell off the swing and I got mud all over my dress and down to my socks.
Oh, let me see. You fell off a swing, you say? Will you kindly show me the back of your head? Feels there. Yes, that, you know what that feels like?
What?
Feels like it's getting better.
Yes.
Very good.
Many qualities are brought to bear upon Fred Rogers' work. Qualities which crowd each other as the books and scripts, records, notes, and mementos which fill his study. Faith, a wry sense of humor, showmanship, a keen mind, and music, much music. All of it, the obvious and the hidden, the agreeable and the contradictory, are bent to the same purpose. Out of a feeling for childhood, an intuitive knowing of childhood, out of memories personal and collective, he shapes songs, thoughts, dialogue, which communicate the very essence of childhood. Childhood not in a commercial sense, not picture book childhood, funny and cute, but childhood that is growth and growing pains, wonder and disappointment, as yet unfenced emotions which cause more sorrow than they cause joy. Childhood, archaic loneliness. Childhood, sanctuary and total peril. Childhood, selflessness and utter selfishness. Childhood, moody withdrawal and reckless abandon.
Before we went away last summer, one of the last places I went to visit was a new nursery school. I had never met these children before, and I walked in at the request of the teacher and just sat down during rest time. I didn't say a word. And the children had seen some of our work on television, and so they knew who I was, but they didn't just rush toward me. They started to come one by one. I sat down on one of the small chairs. It's very easy for me to sit on small chairs, you know, because I'm so used to it. But they came one by one into my particular area from their restroom. And then they just looked at me. And there was a long stare from most of them. And one little boy by the name of Thatcher spoke first. And all he said was, "My doggie's ear came off in the automatic washer." And there was silence, just complete silence. It was as if, "This is your test, Mr. Rogers. Are you still in touch with childhood?" And so I said, "Sometimes that happens to toys, doesn't it? Their ears come off or their legs come off, but that never happens to us. Our ears don't come off, our noses don't come off, our arms don't come off." And Thatcher's eyes were getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he said, "And our legs don't come off?" And I said, "No, they don't." And I didn't have to go any further, you see. I didn't have to say, "Our penises don't come off." I didn't have to say this because the children knew that I was in tune. And immediately, all of the other children started asking questions, and poignant questions. Questions about death. One child talked about her cat dying. And it was just as if, you know, "We shall now open the door. You have passed the test. You may come in. And we will communicate with you." But if I had said, I'm convinced of this, if I had said, to reply to Thatcher's question, "What happened, Thatcher? Did your mother sew the ear on again?" Then I know they would have very politely sat there and said nothing more. But in response to this, and I'm sure that it worked around a long time, because it was about the third week of vacation that it came to me that we needed to have a song about body integrity, that everybody was whole, and everybody was just right the way he was born. And so that's when the song came Everybody's Fancy. Some are fancy on the outside, some are fancy on the inside. Yes, sir, everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy.
from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start. Yes,
I can't hear you.
everybody's fancy.
She is?
Everybody's fine. Your body's
It's Jack's
fancy,
daughter.
and so is mine. Only girls can be the mummy.
Oh, we're going to do the from in there. All right.
10 minutes to tape, everybody. 10 minutes. Jeff, this
Yes, Oh, thank you, sweetie.
right over here.
Come and show me what. Can you tell me about it?
It smells like I made in school.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Otherwise, you're gonna get into one.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And is this a ruler?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that special? How did you make that snowflake?
I just cut
I think
it.
that's probably.
And then did you color all of these?
You get it. I gotta come in, this far. The thing that will sell the record is the
What
front.
about here?
I didn't get to finish
The
it.
thing that will sell the record is the front. Yeah, I can.
Can you tell me about it?
I was going to make a Japanese house, but I couldn't. I couldn't.
Look, a lot of smoke coming out of the chimney.
Alrighty.
And what about here?
Fun.
Sure. Well, that's a very special present, because you made it. Tell me those words to everybody's fancy that you were singing. Some are fancy on the outside.
Some are fancy on the inside. Yes, everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine.
Good.
Your body's fancy,
And
so is mine.
Very good. I thought I saw you singing those words. Do you know other parts of it, too?
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Which part?
I know the whole song.
Do you? You mean, boys are boys for the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start.
A dialogue with childhood. A serious dialogue, though not lacking in humor. A dialogue which centers around childhood concerns, which uses not childhood vocabulary, but childhood imagery, and a terminology in which childhood expresses its joys, hopes, and fears. This is Fred Rogers, creative person.
Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
Good. I think you're a special person. And I like your ins and outsides, yes, sir. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Well, you certainly do have a fancy body. You're a fancy little girl. I'm very fond of this, and thank you very much.